Hey, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Chris Maloney back with you for another edition of CWN Weekly, episode number 28, coming to you live on Saturday, February the 27th, 2021. Seems kind of different doing it on a Saturday afternoon at 2 p.m. here, but I was thinking, well, I could do a pre-record and then I could upload it to Facebook and YouTube to premiere, and I was like, you know what, that's more work than necessary. So I was thinking about going at 3, which is normal time for the show on Fridays. But I was like, you know what? I'm set to go at 2. So here we are at 2 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon. London, Ontario right now, it's about 3 degrees outside. So all the snow's melting. So it's kind of wet and ugly outside. But fact is, yes, CWN Weekly episode number 28. Like I said, London, Ontario, Canada, Chris Maloney, I am. And it's been an interesting week. I will put it that way. So we will get into quite a lot of the highlights for the week. Some sad news as well. But it is a news show, so to speak, and that is what I'm here to talk about. If you're watching live, if you are listening live, feel free to comment. If you're listening on audio later on, feel free to hit the like, subscribe button, all that sort of jazz. And anyways, we'll get into what we normally do: anniversaries, birthdays for the week. So yesterday, Elias the Spartan Theodoro. 1988, he was born, MMA fighter, 33 years old. So happy belated to him. Also happy belated to another former UFC fighter. So TJ Grant, born 1984. So he's 37 years old. He is retired. Theodoro is not, but both those guys Canadian. Grant, I think Theodoro is from Quebec, but Grant is from Nova Scotia. I think it's Cole Harbour, Nova Scotia. I think it's the exact same place as Sidney Crosby, but correct me if I'm wrong on that one. But happy belated to TJ Grant as well. Today, not exactly sure how old he is, but it's all this, the upperclassman Jefferson James of the Maritimes Canadian Independent Wrestling there. His birthday is today, so happy birthday to the upperclassman Jefferson James. A little bit of history here. The 28th, which is tomorrow, Archie Gouldy defeated Pat O'Connor to become the inaugural Stampede North American Heavyweight Champion in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. That happened in 1968. So the inaugural Stampede North American Heavyweight Championship, it was Archie Gouldy who was crowned tomorrow back in 1968. The 28th, which is also tomorrow, the Missing Link was born. 1939. Unfortunately, he passed away on August 16th, 2007 at the age of 68 years old. Only had the honor that I know of seeing the Missing Link in person. That was one time in Paris, Ontario. And you probably hear me talk about the story before if you've ever listened to any of my podcasts over the past 15, 16 years. But it was Paris, Ontario, and he was sitting in a car and there was no ring. And basically he ended up having a match anyways, basically, on the grass with this fella named Thorne, I think it was back in the day. And, they had talent show up. They had an autograph signing beforehand with some of the local talent. And then basically the ring didn't arrive. I don't know if the wrestlers even got paid. But the Missing Link, who was sitting in his car when I went up and approached him and say, "How you doing, sir?" Was sitting in his car in full wrestling gear having a smoke. Paris, Ontario. But like I said, he would have turned 68 years old. Sorry, his birthday is tomorrow. Back in 1939, he was born, but he passed away at the age of 68 years old back in August 17th, 2007. But yeah, seemingly I've got a little bit of stories about some of these guys, but Missing Link, it's pretty cool. Obviously, watching him against Hulk Hogan back in the WWF and stuff like that as well. But anyways, thoughts and prayers. Patrick the Predator Cote, 1980, he was born. Guess what day? The 29th. He is a leap year baby. So he is kind of officially turning 41 years old. Whether or not he celebrates on February 28th, whether or not he celebrates on March the 1st, I don't know. But the fact is he'll be 41 years old. But like I said, February 29th, he's one of those February 29th babies there. So, but happy birthday to the Predator on the 29th or the 28th or the 1st or whatever the case may be. The first is Kyle O'Reilly. So he is healing at home. Storyline wise, by the way, he is fine, but storyline wise, healing at home. But on March the 1st, he'll turn 34 years old. So happy birthday to the one and only Kyle O'Reilly. And on the 4th, the one and only Sarah Stock, born 1979. Dark Angel, as people know her, 42 years old. And you can check out some of her clips on cwnonline.ca. It's called It's a Wonder. And, it's she gives light to her current situation and what she's doing in life and everything else. But on the 4th, which is next Thursday, I believe, 1979, 42 years old, Sarah Stock. And I know you're not supposed to talk about women's ages as far as birthdays go. I kind of got in a little bit of crap this past week. My mom celebrated her birthday. And I actually, on Facebook had said happy, the number birthday to my mom. Kind of getting a little bit of crap from a few people there. But anyways, love you, Mom. But from there, so major news of the week. Unfortunate news at that. So RIP Joseph Hudson, a.k.a. Jocephus, as well as the question mark, end up passing away on the 24th. News broke on the 25th. And I'm just going to read you guys this courtesy of NWAWrestling.com. National Wrestling Alliance is devastated to learn the passing of Joseph Hudson, better known to fans as Jocephus, and the question mark. Joseph had been a pillar of the NWA for many years, whether it be as an I cannot talk today, leader of the Kingdom of the Jocephus or the beloved master of the Mongrovian karate. Is with a heavy heart that I share that my friend and brother in wrestling, Joseph Hudson, has passed away suddenly from an as yet undiagnosed medical issues. NWA fans would like to would know him as Jocephus. Guys, my apologies. One of those names I'm hard to pronounce for myself. Jocephus, as well as the question mark, were thanks to great fans at GPB Studios in Atlanta. Joseph was able to receive the kind of support in the ring he'd always dreamt of, survived by young Sam, who he loved dearly. And if anything would pain him about leaving this earth, it would not being able to be there for his boy. RIP Joseph, love to you and Godspeed. That is NWA President William Patrick Corgan. And Joseph would be remembered for his warm personality and imaginative spirit. We extend our deepest sympathies to Joseph's family, friends, and fans. And then a memorial fund has been set up for him as well through GoFundMe. As current as it is, $28,931 has been raised of a $15,000 goal. So, guys, you can check out GoFundMe. It's simply titled Jocephus Hudson Memorial is the actual title of it. And like I said, $28,931 of $15,000 goal. So absolutely phenomenal there. Not exactly sure how old he was. I only knew him because of the NWA. And it might have been Championship Wrestling from Hollywood as well. He might have been on, but I believe it was the NWA. And, obviously the question mark and the way that gimmick kind of took off and all this, it's it's unfortunate that he passed away and suddenly, seemingly leaving behind a son. And, he was still an entity. I guess his last time he had wrestled was back in January. But it's tough to see and hear about these things. And as far as age goes, I couldn't see anything posted. I know he passed away on February 24th, but I didn't see anything as far as how old he actually was. But anyways, I'm sure news will break sometime probably this week or the next week as far as exactly what happened. But thoughts and prayers are with his family, friends, and fans. And, obviously it's tough. We lost Luke Harper, Mr. Brody Lee, John Huber back in December, and now Jocephus, Joseph Hudson, just a couple of days ago here. So, like I said, thoughts, prayers, and strength with the family, friends, and fans of Jocephus, Joseph Hudson there. So, from there, guys, we go into a little bit more major news, but kind of on a different front here. And it's kind of wrestling related, but it's kind of not. But as a Canadian, I feel the need to talk about it. Sid Seixeiro signs off from Tim and Sid for the final time on Sportsnet. That was yesterday. And Sportsnet.ca, it's the end of an era for the most entertaining sports duo. I know I should have gotten that one better. Longtime Sportsnet personality Sid Seixeiro will sign off from Tim and Sid for the final time on Friday. The last episode of Tim and Sid will air Friday on Sportsnet and SN Now, beginning at 5 p.m. From tight-fitting bodysuits to the legendary Six-Arrow curse and gold medal in the face, Six-Arrow and Tim McAuliffe have been entertaining and educating fans since the early days, co-hosting a highlight show on The Score. The Tim and Sid show then made its debut on Sportsnet 590 The Fan on December the 12th, 2011, before eventually making the move to television. And anyways, it seems weird. There's a lot of people, highlights anyways, as far as guys go, who should be, a tandem, and you think they're going to last forever, like Don Cherry, Ron McLean, Tim and Sid, and all of a sudden, it's apparently Sid has gone on to, I think, Breakfast Television there in Toronto, and I'm not sure. I haven't really heard anything about Tim. I haven't really read the full article there. I just know it was their sign off yesterday. But all the best to them. Can't wait for an official kind of reunion, a couple of years, a year from now, whatever the case may be. But it's very interesting to know that Tim and Sid is done. And anyways, best of luck there to Sid Six-Arrow and whatever he does. And I think, like I said, I think it's Breakfast Television. So guys, we'll kind of go from there. I'm just going to chuck a water bottle here at a cat, because every single time I am doing this podcast lately, he goes and he is right by the cords. That was an empty water bottle, by the way. But it's he's got a habit of doing it now. He sits right by the extension cord going from the laptop into the router. And I bought 100 feet just to be safe. So there's a kind of a loop in the middle. And he's been going there lately. So, but he's not doing any harm. But he's an older cat. So. Anyways, I'll leave it at that. But that was an empty water bottle. I would never toss anything, heavy or that's going to injure him, just to kind of scare him away, which it did. So it was, I achieved what I needed to. But guys, we'll get into the news of the week here. So Walter breaks record as longest reigning NXT UK champion. That came out officially as of last week. So last week and last Saturday, Walter's run as NXT United Kingdom champion has been one of the most dominant title reigns in WWE history. Now it's record breaking. The Ring General reached 686 days as champion Friday evening, surpassing Pete Dunne's previous record of 685 as the longest reigning NXT UK champion ever. It's also the longest reign by any champion in WWE since Hulk Hogan's first WWE championship run lasted for 1,474 days between 84 and 88. So congrats there to Walter. I've had the honor to see him wrestle back in Toronto back in 2019. I believe it was a WXW show, and he's huge in real life. And I know somebody had actually had the chance to meet him, and said he's just very personable there. So from there, and I'm getting texts. Why am I getting texts? Well, apparently my daughter's getting a car. So water bottles at cats and my 17-year-old getting a car. So it's all good there. But my ex had texted me twice, so just making sure it wasn't important there. But the joys of live podcasting when I'm not getting paid to do it either. So anyways, I'll leave it at that. From there, 2021 WB Elimination Chamber results. Miz spoils McIntyre's Chamber victory and cashes in WB Money in the Bank to claim the WB title. That was last Sunday. I'm not going to go into talking about it, and the reason being is because of the fact you can go check out CWN Recap on social media, YouTube, Facebook, as well as audio, which is Anchor, Spotify, SoundCloud, all that jazz, and you can check it out there, and you hear my thoughts about it. I was surprised about The Miz. Wasn't too happy about it. It was kind of like that Miz girl, that kind of sour look on my face, but as soon as Monday rolled around and Raw hit, I was kind of more interested and more excited about it, just to see where it's going to go. And I'll say this: I don't think he's going to be able to beat Bobby Lashley this coming Monday. So in a couple of days, I think Lashley's going to end up taking the title live on Raw, which is going to be unique. And it's not the first time. It's obviously Drew McIntyre did it right before Christmas there with Randy Orton on Raw. So it'll be just a matter of a couple of months before it happens again. But I see Lashley winning that championship there, and going on to Mania against Drew McIntyre. And obviously Miz has got Bad Bunny and all that sort of stuff going on with Morrison and Damian Priest as well. So I think that's going to be set up. But it was interesting. Like I said, last Sunday, Money in the Bank and not Money in the Bank, sorry, Elimination Chamber, where you cashed in the Money in the Bank briefcase. But guys, you can check out my thoughts, CWN Recap, which is online. Edge will attempt to unseat the head of the table at WrestleMania. That was kind of a cool moment. Reason for it was this. With regards to Edge, The fact is, when I did my CWN predicts, I had talked about Edge, coming out, spearing Roman Reigns at the end of the show, pointing at the WrestleMania sign, and that's the way they got off the air. Well, it didn't happen quite like that, but it did happen somewhat like that. And the fact that, they went and they had Edge spear him, point to the Mania sign, fireworks go off, Edge is kind of celebrating, all of a sudden points to the Mania sign again, and then sure enough, they make it official. So Edge versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. Definitely looking forward to that. Something else that kind of shocked me, and I was on Facebook, I saw this post on Slam Wrestling, the group, and I was like, what the heck? So I had to check it out myself. It was WWE and Sportsnet expand programming agreement to include live NXT broadcasts. That was on the 22nd that was released. So I was excited. So article from WWE.com is this: Sportsnet and WWE today announced an expanded agreement to air live broadcasts of NXT on Sportsnet 360 and SN Now beginning this Wednesday, February 24th at 8 p.m. Sportsnet hockey personality Steve Dangle Glynn dropped the news on social media that shook the NXT universe in Canada. Now airing live every Wednesday night on Sportsnet 360 and SN Now, 52 weeks a year. NXT is revolutionizing the world of sports entertainment with innovative styles from trend-setting and unapologetic superstars, including Finn Balor, Adam Cole, Io Shirai, Karrion Kross, Johnny Gargano, and Candice LeRae. And the article continues there. But that is huge news. And obviously, with regards to NXT, it did air this past Wednesday, and it was great. I mean, I always kind of do I love the PIP. I don't know why Rogers got rid of it. I can't find it now. I don't think I've got smart TVs, but I don't think they're smart enough to do the PIP anymore. But I should check that out. But with regards to NXT versus the AEW, I've always got AEW on the big screen anyways, and then usually have NXT on the tablet. Well, I still just did the same thing. I just logged into my Sportsnet account. I didn't have to go looking for a US feed, and then, away it went. So, but pretty cool to have NXT as well as AEW, consistent. And the cool thing was as well, the ability to pause both. So if I want to get up, get something to drink, something to eat, whatever the case may be, I could pause both and then continue both and then skip the commercials and everything. So it was, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a busy Wednesday night. And it reminded me a lot this past Wednesday of the WCW Monday Night Raw Wars, so to speak, Nitro versus Raw. But I'm blessed as a wrestling fan to have that much wrestling on a Wednesday night as well as all through the week. But I definitely can't say anything bad about it at all. So thank you, Sportsnet and the WWE. USA Network's Ms. and Mrs. returns April 12th, will now follow Monday Night Raw. So that is interesting there. I don't know if it's a ratings thing. I don't know if they're just looking to pick up after, Raw has ended and continue with the kind of a wrestling theme there. But the article, the Mazans are back for more mischief, mayhem, and madness. USA Network's Ms. and Mrs. returns on Monday, April 12th at 11 o'clock p.m. Eastern as the second half of the season 2 continues now following Monday Night Raw. And then it says the upcoming six episodes, Miz and Maurice celebrate an anniversary, have a pregnancy scare, and think about joining a country club. So, I don't think I've ever seen an episode. And it's not because I'm not a fan of the Miz or Maurice. Maurice obviously being biased Canadian. But the fact is, when it comes down to it, there's so much on during the week, and we don't. Honestly, I don't think we get it here in Canada, so it's kind of, you have to seek it out. But it's still cool. I mean, that could be something as well that they put on one of the networks up here if they ever switch. But it is USA property, so Sportsnet would be the place it would be airing. But I don't know, and I don't know if it's on the network. I've never actually searched for it on the network, so I'll have to maybe check that out. Breaking news: this happened on the 22nd as well. Anna Jay was injured training and can't compete in the AEW Women's Tournament. From the looks of it, I haven't heard anything more other than the video that they posted. But Anna Jay separated shoulder, and she looks like she's going to be out for about 6 months. Surgery required as well, and thoughts and prayers are with Anna Jay, obviously, for a speedy recovery. And, she will be missed, obviously, by Jim Ross. But, she a very huge career in front of her, as far as they're in AEW, the wrestling world in general, if that's what she wants to do. But she's a quick learner, is from what I've seen, and she's definitely got the personality and the look to go along with it. But Anna Jay, get well. From there, post pay-per-view edition of WWE Raw sees small increase in viewers. Demo goes flat. It says, with The Miz winning the WWE Championship at Elimination Chamber, WWE Raw saw a small increase in viewers, while its key demo figure was flat over week. The February 22nd edition of Raw averaged 1,890,000 viewers with a .570 18-49 demo, finishing first among cable programming Monday. And it was Raw's third highest viewership of 2021. But like the article had said from Post Wrestling here, that the demo was flat, so they didn't actually increase their viewership as far as the 18 to 49s go, as far as the States goes anyways. So I'll get more into the ratings, obviously, as I go on throughout the show here. Impact World Title and Knockout Tag Team title matches official for Sacrifice. So from here, just kind of bring up the article. It's so weird doing this on a Saturday. Like, even you saw me stumbling at the beginning of the show, and normally I do at the end of the show, but just it's a different feel. I'm tired, but I'm not tired. I've been up. I get up early this morning, but it's still a little bit different doing it on a Saturday. But whatever there. Like I said, Impact World Title and Knockouts Tag Title matches official for Sacrifice. So after months of build-up, Rich Swann finally defended the Impact World Title against Moose in the main event. And then they also talk about the Tag Team Championships, the Knockout Championships. So Jordan Grace and Jazz are going up against Fire and Flavor, which is why do I want to say Havoc and Nevaeh? It's not Kiara Hogan as well as Tasha Steele. So that is coming up on March the 13th at TNA Sacrifice. Will be an iPay-per-view. You can get that for free signing up impactplus.tv or fight.tv. And I think my membership expires tomorrow. I got to check that out, but I'll have to wait and see here. From there, ROH TV recap. I don't normally talk about ROH until ROH results anyways, until I get to the highlights, but this was huge. So Shane Taylor Promotions wins the World Six-Man Tag Team title. It was supposed to happen back in December, but it didn't happen. So they are officially now the ROH World Six-Man Tag Team Championships. And I'll go more into that when I get into the highlights there. But I want to make mention of that there. AEW President Tony Khan talks working with Impact, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Sting, Shaquille O'Neal, and more. So that was released on the 24th. That's an interview with TSN.ca. So guys, check that out. Wrestling legend Paul Wight signs long-term deal with AEW. I had to look twice at this. And I was like, I didn't even know he was interested in leaving the company. Obviously, he wasn't getting treated the best. He was part of the Legends Night there, and they made him look basically like Hogan and Savage did at the end of their WWE runs, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, they go to WCW and reinvent themselves. I think Paul White's going to reinvent himself again. Obviously, he did a jump from WCW to the WWE, but I think he's going to reinvent himself again, going from WWE to AEW. I think, from what I heard, he's 49, just off the top of my head. Don't get me wrong, I don't want to see him in the ring full time. Like, he's been around a while. The fact is, he is a recognizable name. Obviously, he's got the passion for wrestling. And, if he wants to give it another go and end up with that Shaquille O'Neal match, then so be it. You know what I mean? Or end up with a one-off against, say, somebody like Wardlow. That would be cool, too. Or Luchasaurus, you know what I mean? The bigger guys. But anyway, February 24th, 2021. As 2021 shapes up to be the year for AEW's biggest shows yet, today the promotion announced that wrestling legend Paul Wight signed a long-term deal, adding yet another universally regarded name to AEW's rosters of stars, legends, and upcoming talent. Wight will have extensive role at AEW, and on top of his return to the ring, he will serve as a commentator on AEW's newest show, AEW Dark Elevation. Complementing AEW Dark on Tuesdays, AEW Dark Elevation will air on Mondays at 7 p.m. on AEW's YouTube channel and will showcase AEW's established and rising stars, as well as the top independent wrestlers within the industry, competing against each other in the ring in pursuit of wins. So it's kind of cool, and I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, I think it was last week I was talking about Evolve. So NXT Evolve. So AEW Dark Elevation is pretty damn cool as well. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see Paul Wight, in AEW. Fact is, he was mentioned, but he wasn't on the show this past Wednesday, because of the fact it was a taped show, but they did mention him, and they said that he will be a part of the show this coming Wednesday, so look for that. Something big as well, largest recruit class in the history reports to the WWE Performance Center. So this was big news on the other side of the spectrum with regards to the WWE. So And you'll recognize some of the pictures if you actually go to the article. So it's up on CWNonline.ca as well as WWE.com. But the largest class of recruits in WB history has reported for training at the WB Performance Center in Orlando. Group also includes the most female recruits of any class ever at 10. Class brings a wide variety of backgrounds to the training facility and includes second-generation talent, independent wrestling standouts, and recruits with experience in a range of sports. So the names I will mention are these guys here: Bronson Recksteiner, who is the son of Rick Steiner. We got Kira Magnin Forster, otherwise known as Taya Valkyrie, Canada's own Taya Valkyrie. We got Sean Ricker, who people know as LA Knight. Also, they know him as Eli Drake. Then we've got Angela Arnold, who's known as AQA or Aqua. And then Parker Boudreaux, who it's going to be interesting to see because the comparisons have already been made with him and Brock Lesnar. And when you look at the guy, he looks like Brock Lesnar. Actually, a little bit heavier as far as the muscle tone goes. I haven't seen this guy in the ring. I don't know if there's any clips out there, but the fact is, he looks like he's a beast. He's got that intense look that Brock used to have, that kind of no nonsense look. And I'm interested to see if he's, I'm just reading actually right now, 6'4", 300 pounds. Jeez. And he was an offensive lineman for the University of Central Florida, and has caught the eye of Paul Heyman on social media. Look at that. Talking about Brock Lesnar, we got Paul Heyman reference right there. And then a lot of other names mentioned in the articles as well. Priscilla Kelly's in here. We've got Christian Hubble. People know Christian Hubble as Blake Christian, formerly of Impact Wrestling as well as GCW there. And the list goes on and on and on. Like I said, you can check that out, cwnonline.ca. You can also check that out with regards to WB.com, of course, where the article originated there. From there, big news going across the pond, so to speak. Hiromu vacates 3 strive for IWGP Junior Heavyweight Gold. So this was unfortunate news. Hiromu finally comes back. He, from another injury. Ends up being in major matches, obviously wants to take the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship to the level of the IWGP Championship, wins that belt, the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship, and carries himself like a friggin' superstar. Evil goes over to Bullet Club, so Hiromu's kind of, that's second in there. Sanada and Shingo as well, but Hiromu, unfortunately, just can't cut a break. He's, he keeps getting injured, so to speak. So before action could start on February 25th, road to Castle Attack card in Corkin Hall, Hiromu Takahashi got the evening started with an emotional address to fans in attendance, confirming to the crowd that his left pectoral tear has rendered him unable to make his scheduled defense Sunday at Castle Attack, which is tomorrow. Hiromu reasserted his dream to wear junior heavyweight gold and win the heavyweight title in prime time in a Tokyo Dome main event. Ultimately, though, declaring he wanted no regrets in his wrestling life, Hiromu would relinquish his championship belt to chairman Naoki Sugabayashi for the sake of the junior heavyweight championship division before requesting that Bushi take his place opposite El Fantasmo in Sunday's Osaka belt. I'll get more into that just momentarily here. But unfortunate news, tearing his left pec, probably going to be out. I don't know if I have the other article up here. No, I've got articles with regards to him being injured by, I think it's 6 to 12 months, I think is what timeline is for Hiromu. So unfortunate news. Obviously, the junior heavyweight division will carry on as far as tomorrow goes. I'll get into that more in a moment here. Other major news that took place, and this was kind of shocking, with regards to all of these promotions and the Forbidden Door being booted down and everything else. There's other rumblings all over the place. It's been a week of rumblings. I tell you that much right now. Between everything that's going on with Impact Wrestling and AEW, and then all of a sudden now you've got, what I was just talking about, there with New Japan Pro Wrestling and what they're going to venture into, and I'll get more into that as well. Marty Scurll, part of recent New Japan Strong tapings. So this came courtesy of F4WOnline.com, February 25th. Wednesday's Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer confirmed that Marty Scurll worked at the recent New Japan Strong tapings in California. He didn't verify the story that Scurll was involved in the post-match angle with Rocky Romero and was reported by FanBite's Emily Pratt. Due to non-disclosure agreements, information has been hard to verify. Fightful first reported his involvement with Pratt, reporting he was at the January 22nd day of taping. It's unknown how many shows he will appear as part of the tapings and when they will air. So the article continues. It'll be up probably within this weekend on CWNonline.ca, but you can check that out. Like I said, f4wonline.com. And the title article, Marty Scurll, part of recent New Japan Strong taping. So it's interesting, I tell you that. And I was a huge fan of Marty Scurll, back in 2019. Actually got to meet the guy. 2020 takes place. Speaking Out movement takes place. He gets terminated, kind of parts ways with ROH, and I'm kind of left in the middle as far as as a competitor, as a superstar, and I will get more into that during this show because it's been a topic this week. But as a competitor, as a superstar, yes, I still want to watch his matches, everything else, but I'm not sure what to think of the guy personally. So I'll just leave it at that there. But I'm sure more breaking news, major news is going to break with regards to Marty Scurll in the next couple of weeks or so, especially if he's part of these tapings, because I know. Well, I'll get more into Strong just momentarily here as well. Conan opens up about his health conversations with doctors. That was released on Post Wrestling, so guys, check that out. But Conan's on the mend. Paul Robinson parts ways with Progress Wrestling. That was interesting. I got to see him again a couple summers ago, 2019, in Toronto. Very small dude, but his name is huge. And apparently apparently it was amicable. So he just, that's it with him in Progress Wrestling. So be interesting to see where he pops up or what happens with him there. WB wins big at Synopsis Best of the Best Awards. So guys, you can check that out at WB.com. AEW finished 5th on cable. NXT hits 2021 viewership high. I'll get more into that during the ratings there. Must-see major announcements. New footage. AEW 2-point show hosted by Kenny Omega with guest Brandon Cutler took place on the 25th. So the major news coming out about that is they want to make sure this video game is as great as it possibly can be. Ukes is always obviously behind it. They showed footage of how they're generating the moves, the audio for the moves and this and that. It's interesting because I never really knew that they actually just had a camera with a recorder and basically somebody would hit a move and that was the realistic aspect of it. I don't know where that comes from, whether or not it's an Omega thing from past video games that he's been part of, or if Ukes has always done that. But it is kind of cool. So when you hear a table break in the game, it means somebody went through a table in real life for them to get that audio footage. So it's interesting there. But like I said, that was part of the news that came out. And then all of a sudden, AEW Elite General Manager core gameplay trailer that came out as well the same day. So that is on YouTube there. Aubrey Edwards is doing the voiceover for that. So guys, you can check that out on YouTube. I believe it's up on CWNonline.ca as well. And then the other major news with regards to it was AEW Casino Double or Nothing. There was a launch trailer that came out today, but officially you could download the game. They had said in the video the 26th, but as soon as the video was over and I went on my iPhone, it was there. So I downloaded the game on the 25th. Looks like there's been a small update to it. Haven't officially played it yet, but I've seen the interface and everything else. Downloaded it on my iPhone. And I'm looking forward to playing it, as well as the AEW other games that do come up. Phantasmo, Desperado, Bushi to face off in 3-way for the vacant title. So that is the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. I will get more into that just momentarily here. Joint statement came out yesterday from New Japan Pro Wrestling as well as CMLL. And I will get into that if I can find the article here. I'll tell you this, we're doing this on a Saturday. I am a little bit more, what's the word? I almost said entertained, but I'm always entertained, but I'm a little bit more, again, last week, one coffee. Today, I didn't have coffee. I had green tea instead, but organized. Organized is the word. That is the word I'm looking for. So I'm a little bit more organized. As I've got the article right here in front of me. I'm just kind of babbling my words right now. But like I said, the joys of a live free podcast. So anyways, since November 2009, New Japan Pro Wrestling, CMLL, have enjoyed a unique and prosperous working relationship. This relationship has seen CMLL stars travel to Japan every January for the annual Fantastica Mania tour, as well as competing in New Japan rings on a frequent basis, and New Japan prospects developing excursions to CMLL in Mexico. New Japan Pro Wrestling remains deeply proud of the strong bond it has with CMLL. Unfortunately, the ongoing global COVID-19 pandemic prevented Fantastica Mania from taking place in January 2021. However, New Japan Pro Wrestling would like to assure fans that its relationship with CMLL is unwavering and that CMLL will continue to be the exclusive business partner for New Japan Pro Wrestling in Mexico. That was a statement from Salvador Luderoth Lomali, president of CMLL. So that is good news there. They were a part of the ROH card that I got to see back in, again, the summer of 2019. I should have a show just devoted to that. I could go on for an easy hour just talking about my experience. I think I went to 6 or 7 shows in a matter of like 4 days. It was pretty damn cool. But anyways, yeah, it's great to see New Japan still working with CMLL. I'll tell you that. Then we go from, talking about Japan to an article here. So big in Japan, Tiger Jeet Singh and Tiger Ali Singh honored for Japanese charitable efforts. That was released on Slam Wrestling on the 26th. I think Bob Kapur, actually had wrote the article there, so check that out. Bloodthirsty Bob, as people call him, but yeah, check that out, Slam Wrestling. WB Network Documentaries presents Heaven, premiering March the 7th. I haven't actually read this yet. There's a trailer as well that's out with regards to this here, but I'm just going to read the article on the air and find out more about it as I'm going live here. For the first time, WB Network Documentaries will expand its award-winning storytelling beyond the world of sports entertainment when it presents Heaven, new documentary premiering Sunday, March 7th. Heaven tells the story of a trailblazing high school wrestler named Heaven Fitch. In 2020, as a junior, Fitch became the first female athlete to win a boys state wrestling championship in North Carolina, claiming the top spot in the 106-pound weight class. Film documents her inspiring journey up the ranks and the challenges she faced along the way, from proving doubters wrong to defying the odds and making history. Trailer for Heaven available to watch above. So it's WB.com is the article. Was first revealed by Sports Business, a business journal. Narrating the documentary is WB Hall of Famer and fellow North Carolina resident Beth Phoenix, who, like Fitch, often competed against the boys during their amateur wrestling career. And then WB CBO Chief Brand Officer Stephanie McMahon provides the film's introduction there. So looking forward to that. I'm also looking forward to the icons with regards to Beth Phoenix, because they touched base on the fact that she wanted to try out and she was a girl, and they were like, no. And all of a sudden, next thing you know, she was the fabulous Firebird, as they used to call her, was stubborn, and the rest is history. But yeah, actually looking forward to Heaven. So March the 7th, which is what is that date? Is that I get a calendar right in front of me. Where are we here? No, next Sunday, so a little bit away, so 8 days away, but it'll be interesting. Also interesting, Kelly Klein launches lawsuit against Sinclair Broadcasting and ROH. That came out yesterday. So she named a couple people in the lawsuit itself, one of them being Jay Lethal. So we'll have to stay tuned to see what happens there. Obviously, when she left the company, it didn't seem like a happy kind of mutual thing. Obviously, the lawsuit that's come out, obviously we'll have to wait and see what happens there. On the other side of things, EC3 signs with ROH. That was released as well yesterday. It was interesting though. It didn't say signed contract. It signed agreement. So makes me think ROH will be his home base, but he'll still be able to venture elsewhere. I can't see him going. Well, actually, you know what? No, he went back to Impact Wrestling, and he had that whole big thing with Moose there. So it'd be interesting to see if he goes Impact as well. But it'll be interesting to see if he ends up in AEW at some point, or Japan, because he has wrestled for New Japan of America. So, like I said, EC3 signs with ROH. That was yesterday. On the signing fronts, AEW interested in Selena Vega, confirms TNT and YouTube shows. So that was a Tony Khan interview as part of Wrestling Observer Radio, so F4WOnline.com. The gist of it is that Tony Khan was always interested. He had to wait for the 90-day no-compete clause to say see you later. But she may be the next WB superstar, former WB superstar that we see jump ship over to AEW there, which I think will be huge for her, considering the fact, the history that she has. But the fact is, I think, managerial wise, or even as an in-ring competitor, she's very good on the mic, and she's got unique skills in the ring. So the fact is, it'd be interesting to see Thea there over in AEW. Bianca Belair challenged the Boss on the grandest stage of them all. So that was made official last night on SmackDown. It seems weird. Usually I'm talking the preview for SmackDown, but talking about last night on SmackDown. So yeah, Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair, WrestleMania. It looks like it's going to be one of the main events. So I say night 1 because night 2 I think it's going to be, and that's going to be weird because it's going to be SmackDown main events for both, unless they're just referring to the SmackDown anyways. But Bianca versus Sasha is coming up. Conor McGregor and Finn Balor headed for WWE Showdown. So apparently they've been going back and forth on Twitter. Found that out just before the show took place here today. Triple H kind of got involved and say, "Hey, we get a ring." So it'd be interesting, but I think it's jaw jacking, so to speak. But Conor McGregor and Finn Balor would be interesting because they're both Irish and Irish people. Me being one of them, by the way, tend to be stubborn. So it'll be interesting to see if it plays out. New Japan Pro Wrestling Castle Attack report took place earlier this morning, guys. And in saying that, I'm going to bring up just the report here, courtesy of Post Wrestling. So the results are this: Will Ospreay, the Great Okan, Jeff Cobb over Hiroshi Tanahashi, Satoshi Kojima, as well as Hiroyoshi Tanzan. That was 12 minutes, 24 seconds. The cool thing about John Pollock and Wei Ting, they always put the times of the match in there, which I've never been able to do. I don't know what did they start their stopwatch when a bell rings, and what happens if they ring the bell 3 times? Anyways, it's one of my bucket list things, I guess, to eventually interview John Pollock or Wei Ting. I think that'd be kind of cool. But anyways, like I said, 12 minutes, 24 seconds. Ospreay, the Great Okan, and Jeff Cobb, the Empire, go over. Next match, Tangaloa over Yoshihashi in 12 minutes, 53 seconds. Hiroki Goto over Tama Tonga in 6 minutes, 41 seconds. So you have one member of the Guerrillas of Destiny win, the other member of the Guerrillas of Destiny lose. King of Pro Wrestling Provisional Championship, YTR. Not sure what YTR. I'm going to have to look into that. Texas strap match, but Toru Yano as champion over Chase Owens. So Toru retains 12 minutes and 50 seconds. Jay White over Tomohiro Ishii in 25 minutes and 43 seconds. That's a long match there. And then the main event, an even longer match here. My God, Okada. That's Saturday stumbles for you. Kazuchika Okada over Evil in 28 minutes and 11 seconds there. So my apologies to Okada. But normally I get his name right 99% of the time. But I'm going to blame it on being Saturday and not having coffee today. So Castle Attack Night 2 preview is I'm not going to say tonight. It's kind of tonight. The time difference, 14 hours between us and Japan. But this is taking place tomorrow morning. And I'm just going to bring up actually the New Japan website because I didn't officially take a look at the time. The New Japan Pro Wrestling, they do their articles separately from their match previews, so to speak. But their match previews will actually show the time. So where I think I went to results. Where are we? Oh, yeah, here we go. So bell time is 1400 hours, which is 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So I think that means we're looking time difference wise. It's happening at midnight. That's very early in the afternoon. Usually New Japan is usually about 4 p.m. or 6 p.m. So yeah, I guess we're looking. Yeah, if the time change hasn't yet, so we're looking at midnight tonight. So I guess I kind of was right when I said tonight. Anyways, where are we here? Castle Attack Night 2 preview. Castle Attack Tour will culminate with a huge second night in Osaka-jo Hall on February 28th. IWGP Tag Team Junior Heavyweight and Intercontinental titles will be decided, as well as a huge Never Openweight Championship belt, all on a loaded night of action. So, main event, guys. Kota Ibushi defending the Intercontinental Championship against the one and only Tetsuya Naito. Then we go from there. We go into the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship, which is vacant right now. But we got Bushi taking on El Fantasma, taking on El Desperado. If I'm going to predict, you know what? I'll do that. I'll predict. I'm not going to do a separate show, but I will predict right now. So first match, I'm going to say Kota retains. Naito's been injured, so I would have went the other way, except for the fact that Naito's been injured. So I got to go with Kota to retain. Next match, ELP, Bushi, as well as El Desperado. I got to say they keep it with LIJ. As much as I want to see ELP with that title, I'm going to say LIJ takes it, so that means Bushi takes it. From there, we go into the Never Openweight Championship here. Hiroshi Tanahashi defending against the Great Okan. Man, I hope Okan doesn't win it. I'm going to go Tanahashi just because I want to see Tanahashi retain. Then from there, we go into the IWGP Tag Team Championship match, Guerrillas of Destiny, which is Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa taking on Chaos, which is Yoshihashi and Hiroki Goto. I'm a God fan. I got to go Gorillas of Destiny. So, second match, Chaos, which is Toru Yano, Tomohiro Ishii, and Kazuchika Okada taking on Bullet Club, Jay White, Chase Owens, and Evil. Jay White's been on a roll again. Tomohiro Ishii could get the revenge. Okada's in the match. I can't see Okada being part of it unless they put him over Evil again. But no, I'm going to say Jay White's the difference maker in this. So I'm going to say Jay White is the winner in this to put Bullet Club over Chaos. And then match number 1, Tenkozi, which is Satoshi Kojima and Hiroyoshi Tanzan taking on the United Empire, which is Jeff Cobb and Will Ospreay. And I'm going to say there's no reason at all for the United Empire to lose. So I'm going to say Will Ospreay, Jeff Cobb to win there. So, guys, that is your setup here for night 2 of Castle Attack. And like I said, from time difference-wise, it's 14 hours ahead. So it makes midnight here. So, no reason to go to bed until 3, 4 in the morning. And there's nothing happening tomorrow as far as pay-per-views go. So, guys, you can enjoy New Japan Pro Wrestling tonight. And like I said, you've got Ibushi defending against Naito in the main event. So it'll be a very, very strong card there. March 1st, which was the date, but it came out a couple days ago. The Observer newsletter 2020 awards issue, Elimination Chamber is part of that as well. But guys, if you're a subscriber to F4W Online, specifically the Wrestling Observer, newsletter, you can check that out. All the results are there. Some of them are absolutely nuts as far as who won. AEW did kind of a big sweep of it. But then they had stuff like the worst moment of the year, so to speak, and that went down to WWE get rid of guys. So saying see you later to people while still making a profit during COVID, which absolutely sucked. But if you go to the Facebook group of CWN Online, you'll be able to find a link for the Observer newsletter there, so you can check that out. But a lot of categories, some surprises, some not surprises. But anyways, like I said, CWN Online on Facebook, you can find the newsletter on there. Dynamite highlights. So I'm not doing a full highlights show. I'm just kind of doing from Wednesday on, just the highlights all the way through Strong, which took place last night. But Dynamite highlights: Mox defeats Ryan Nemeth. The Bucks and their parents arrive backstage. That is going to play in. And then we see Starks and Cage defeats the Varsity Blondes. And then Sting gets his revenge. So he basically, as Darby Allin, they come out to the ring, the entrance. They've got Hook in a body bag. So Taz is all upset. And then they go nuts on Starks and Cage in the ring there. No Will Hobbs, but it was kind of a cool moment to see Sting doing the Stinger Splash and the Scorpion Death Drop. And what was even cooler than that, Tony Schiavone calling as Sting's doing his moves, and it's like, oh man, we haven't heard that since like the early 2000s, and I've missed it. So anyways, it was pretty cool as a wrestling fan back in the 90s. So anyways, I'll leave it at that. Then we go into Hager defeating Jay Cutler, the Bucks, Jericho, MJF backstage promo. So basically there was a truck with the Bucks faces on it, and when the Bucks arrived with their parents, they did like a selfie, a pose with the truck. And the next thing you know, you see MJF and Jericho backstage, and they're cutting a promo on the Bucks. And then next thing you know, they turn their shoulders, and Papa Bucks down in the middle, all bloodied up. And he's bloodied up, and then he goes and Jericho tosses him into the truck, and then the blood smears on Matt Jackson's face. And then all of a sudden the same thing happens. MJF, I think, tosses him up, and then the blood smears on Nick Jackson's face. And you can see the shot on cwnonline.ca, but it was kind of an interesting moment. The Bucks run backstage, and then basically Jericho gets in the vehicle. I thought Jericho was going to catch the door on a vehicle that was up towards the side there, but anyways, it was the Bucks chasing MJF and Jericho, and it sets up for Revolution coming up. So it was a good strong segment for them. And Papa Buck played it up. Obviously he gets put in the ambulance later on, and makes Jericho and MJF look like big time heels. And the way that before they went to take off in their vehicle, they did the Bucks pose, and then MJF was like, "Oh, we gotta go," and then they're running off like kids. So anyways, I'm loving the MJF Jericho gimmick, the tag team there. From there we go to Page, Adam Page defeating Isaiah Cassidy. And then at the end, obviously, Matt Hardy being part of this, he's saying, Page, I don't care if you're part of the Dark Order or not, but you still care about these guys. And he beat up on Alan Five Angels and brought him out from the backstage area. So that was, they're playing into that as well. So building a strong promo going into that money match between the two guys there, so Hardy and Page. Nyla Rose defeats Britt Baker. Match was long, wasn't the greatest, wasn't the worst, but Nyla went over, so she'll be facing Riho in the finals in the U.S. bracket. And then Lance Archer defeats Phoenix in a Revolution ladder match qualifier, so that was an okay match as well. I'm going to say probably the matches themselves were, but the promos and the hypes are all, surrounding Paul Wight, as well as the build towards next week, as well as Revolution, were huge. So, anyways, good for AEW and Dynamite. From there, NXT highlights: Dexter Lumis defeats Johnny Gargano in a non-title match. Johnny Gargano he's playing his character amazing, but Dexter Lumis does it as well as Indy Hartwell. Falling in love with Dexter Lumis, as crazy as he is, it's interesting to watch. But I'm loving the Dexter Lumis, Johnny Gargano, all that stuff right there. But like I said, he defeated him, but non-title. MSK, Grizzled Young Vets, backstage promo where MSK was celebrating, and Grizzled Young Vets come in and beat them up, and they're laid out. Leon Ruff, Tyler Russ, no contest thanks to Isaiah Swerve Scott. Io Shirai defeats Zoe Stark in a non-title match. Zia Lee defeats Casey Catanzaro. Grizzled Young Vets defeats Drake Maverick as well as Killian Dane. And then main event, Karrion Kross defeats Escobar. No DQ match. They were all over the place. Kross was selling his arm at the end of the match. I hope it was just a gimmick thing. I don't want to see the guy injured again. But he ends up picking the victory up in the no DQ match there. And then we got Adam Cole as well as Roderick Strong and Finn Balor in the promo to end the night. And as people guessed it, Adam Cole turns on Roderick Strong and basically goes and says, I've always been Undisputed Era. So there's only one guy left to take out, and that's Bobby Fish. So it'll be interesting to see where they go with this. The cool thing was the segment involving them. And Strong said, Kyle will forgive you, but he's probably going to punch you in the face after he does. And then they set up that thing with Roddy Strong basically getting attacked by Cole. Cole had been taken out by Strong accidentally, and then they had a moment where they're kind of consoling each other and hugging, and the next thing you know, Cole goes and hits him with the Ric Flair low blow, and Undisputed Era at this point is done. Yeah, it's only a matter of time before Cole goes up. I wonder at this point if he's taking O'Reilly with him, so it'd be interesting. SmackDown, UK highlights, NXT UK highlights. The reason I bring this up is a major thing at the end. Xia Brookside defeats Nina Samuels. Tyler Bate defeats Bailey Matthews. I haven't seen this, but I believe Bailey Matthews is William Regal's son, so I've got to go back and watch that. Valkyrie Iof, I've got to get that name right, not Taya, but the NXT UK lady there defeats Lana Austin. Pretty Deadly defeats Gallus, which is Mark Coffey and Wolfgang, to win the NXT UK tag team titles. If you go to cwnonline.ca, you can check out, if you go to the pro section, you can check out current champions. So you see all the current champions listed. And when you go, and I have to put in the new name, so to speak, Gallus had hung on to those titles since 2019. Obviously, COVID played a huge factor in that, but it's interesting to see when you're replacing names that have existed as champions since 2019. So that's one of them there. But guys, check that out. It's only an hour long, usually 55 minutes or so. Some major news from NXT UK this past week. SmackDown highlights: Otis and Gable defeats Ray and Dominic. Apollo Crews defeats Nakamura. Tamina defeats Liv Morgan. Then we have Belair Banks promo. Reginald was part of this as well, but they officially set up the match. The Profits defeat Corbin and Zayn, and then Bryan and Uso go to a double countout. With regards to Bryan and Uso, it was if Bryan won, he'd get a match with Roman Reigns at Fastlane. That didn't take place because of the double countout, so obviously they got the storyline to play into next week. Edge was part of all the kind of the backstage segments and stuff. He had a moment with Daniel Bryan, had a moment with Adam Pearce. Sonya Deville, saying, hey, what's going on? I've got my match with Roman. Why are you throwing a monkey wrench into this? So it'll be interesting to see how they play it up. Wasn't the greatest SmackDown, but it was there. And the Profits have come out and promo-wise and said, hey, look, we're not losing until we get a championship match once again. So they're apparently going to be on a roll until they get their championship rematch. So, again, Sonya Deville, and I almost said Private Party, but Oh my God! Now I got Private Party on the mind. Anyway, you know where I'm going with that. So, guys, my apologies. 205 Live highlights: Stallion and Mansoor defeats Everrise. Gray defeats Nice, and then strong highlights from last night: Brody King, Super ACH, Sterling Regal, as well as Logan Regal defeats the DKC, Kevin Knight, Clark Connors, and TJP. Ren Narita, defeats Chris Dickinson, and then Mox defeats Kenta to retain. So that is officially done and over with. Moxley still your IWGP United States Heavyweight Champion there. Street Profits. There we go. Gonna let that one go. Ratings for the week: 1,890,000 for Raw. Like I had said, 0.57 in the 18 to 49 demo. First for the night, Canada, they were 246,500, 126,700. So 126,700 people in the 25 to 54 demo for Canada for Raw. Impact 170.04 in 18 to 49 demo, 113th for the night. AEW was 831.35 in the 18 to 49 demo, 5th for the night. NXT 734.18 in the 18 to 49 demo, and then 24th for the night. And then SmackDown rating, I had checked and then forgot to recheck again, so I will have that probably next week. But it was only the Fast National anyway. The main ratings don't come out until Monday. But you'll see it up on CWNonline.ca, of course. From there, MMA Pro Boxing News. DC and Hawane, February 22nd, released a new episode, so check that out. One Championship, Fists of Fury, took place yesterday, so you can check that out at CWNonline.ca. And then tonight, as far as UFC goes, UFC Fight Night, Rozenstruik taking on Gane. The main card takes place at 8 p.m. on TSN 5. Prelims at 5 p.m. on TSN 5. UFC Apex in Las Vegas, Nevada. Main event has number 4, Jerzinho. Hopefully I pronounced that kind of close. Biggie Boy, not Big Boy, but Biggie Boy. Rozenstruik taking on number 7, Cyril Bon Gane. Hopefully I pronounced that right as well. Still getting used to the UFC MMA names in the heavyweight belt main event there. So guys, check that out for free tonight. UFC Fight Night, Rozenstruik versus Gane. Like I said, 8 p.m. for the main card, 5 p.m. For the prelims on TSN 5. And that is it as far as boxing MMA, as well as, what do they call that? Oh yeah, pro wrestling news goes. So guys, I'm going to take a quick break here, play some independent promos, and then come back with some Canadian independent wrestling. So sit back, relax, I'll be right back.
Are you a pro wrestling fan? Do you want the latest info on shows and the stars that appear throughout Ontario? Are you looking for information and insight into the independent wrestling scene? Want interviews and information on the big leagues? Then you want Knights of the Squared Circle with Ryan Knight on Coyote 103. Ryan has his finger on the pulse of wrestling in Ontario on every level, and he brings that to you every Sunday at noon. Listen for your wrestling fix with Ryan Knight and Knights of the Squared Circle, Sunday at noon, only on Coyote 103.
Hey, are you getting tired of the grind? Getting tired of the same old, getting tired of living in an echo chamber? Well, if you are, tune in to the Duke You Suck podcast with Duke Durango. We'll be talking wrestling, sports of all kinds, politics, medicine, whatever else we want to get into. What I'm really looking for is for you to go on a journey with me. Perhaps we find some common ground and hopefully have a laugh along the way. So watch this space for the first episode dropping soon, the Duke You Suck podcast with me, Duke Durango.
I love that name, the Duke You Suck podcast. But well familiar with Duke Durango way back in the days when I was doing my original website and getting to know the Canadian independent wrestling scene. But guys, CanadianIndependentWrestling.ca, like I said, always forwards you to the group. Almost 440 members there now. The big, part of the group. Keep it clean, but promote. So your gimmick, your promotion, your any kind of social media you got going on, your podcasts, upcoming events when they do start taking place again. CanadianIndependentWrestling.ca, like I said, just keep it clean, but it is there on Facebook, so sign up for free. Some big news, unfortunately. So last week you would have heard me play the UCW promo for their upcoming events. Well, they released this, unfortunately, yesterday at 2:30 in the afternoon. Good afternoon, UCW fans. As you probably expected, we have been forced to postpone our upcoming shows on March 5th and 6th due to the new COVID restrictions that were put in place a few hours ago. These restrictions are in place for at least the next 4 weeks. Currently working on new dates, and we'll make an announcement as soon as we have the information for you. please email ucwtickets@gmail.com or call 902-233-3663 with any questions regarding tickets. So the shows have not been canceled. They have been postponed. So in saying that, you can check that out. Like I said, facebook.com/UCWVIP. But you would have heard me play the promo last week with regards to the shows, and Harold Kennedy doing the voiceover. And then unfortunately, because of the COVID restrictions, they've been postponed. So it's weird because here in London, we are going to code orange as far as Monday goes. So my wife right now is out currently shopping at a mall, and it's been interesting, but it's the limitations. I was going through it yesterday because I didn't see any news reports, and she found it. So I was going through the limitations list, the different, color chart, so to speak. So from the red to the orange, to the yellows, to the green, so to speak. And from basically the red all the way through to, I think, the green, there's not a lot of difference as far as how many people you can have inside, how many people you can sit with outside, as far as immediate family and this thing that goes. But I'm guessing it makes a difference as far as retail and everything else goes. So a lot of restrictions still in place as far as London, we go into code orange goes. But it looks like wrestling events, if they wanted to run, they'd be able to. Now that's here in London, Ontario. However, it's different in Toronto, obviously different there in Halifax, Nova Scotia as well for UCW. But it's, we're still getting through it, right? And it's just a matter of time. It's, I'm a huge fan of 11 o'clock news. Usually I watch it with my wife. And, you'll see a lot less negativity about COVID taking place now. Before it was like, this is the numbers and this is what you need to do. And it was a lot of bad news and a lot of frustration. And now when you watch the news, it's a lot of hope, a lot of optimism. And in saying that, it's different because, I hear in London, Ontario, like I said, I get excited. But then next thing you know, it's tough because of the fact you hear about the news at like Halifax, Nova Scotia, and UCW. So thoughts and prayers are with you guys. And like I said, we're all getting through this together here. I'm going to jump into just what's available on YouTube first. I'm just going to switch things around because I had something I was going to talk about first, but I think I'm going to leave it to the end of Canadian Independent Wrestling. But on YouTube, that happened this week. Spencer Love interviews the one and only Duke Durango. That took place on the 22nd. SWJ's Steven's Wrestling Journey. Turnbuckle Talk with Steven Spice and Chris Van Vliet. Yes, the one and only CVV took place on the 22nd as well. 365 Pro Wrestling Podcast, episode number 91 with Lenny Lilac. That took place on the 23rd. The Duke You Suck Podcast, episode 1 took place officially. So TJ Wilson was his guest, a.k.a. Tyson Kidd. That was released on the 23rd. Steve's 3 with Devon Get the Tables Dudley came out on the 24th. Vidcast 40 featuring Just Incredible on the 25th by the one and only George Mackay. Episode 80, Michael Elgin versus Congo Kong for the championship. BTPW championship released on Thursday the 25th. MPW Monster Pro Wrestling Into the Lair, episode number 15. Buckshot Bobby Break taking on the Sultan. That was on the 25th as well. Feeling Like Healing. This could go pro or indie, but I put it in the indie. It's a Wander, episode number 15, released on the 25th as well. It's with Sarah Stock. Spencer Love interviews Lufisto. That was on the 26th. Episode 85, Kid Supremo taking on Jake O'Reilly. That was on the 26th by CPW. Best of Randy Myers, Ravenous Randy Myers in ECW. That was released on the 26th as well. So yesterday, Superkick presents Rebellious Ones. I want to say Rebellious Ones. February 26th as well, so yesterday. And then Moxley versus Kenta finally happens. New Japan Pro Wrestling, New Beginning USA 2021 review was released today by Alliance Pro Wrestling Network featuring Lewis Carlin. So guys, that's everything that's available right there on YouTube. The other things I'll mention with regards to that is you can find them also on cwnonline.ca as well as CWN's YouTube channel, so you can find all the links there. But normally, and I'm missing this, talking about upcoming shows and results and everything else. But this is my way of still talking about independent wrestling is with regards to shows taking place on YouTube or any kind of news taking place as well. Speaking of news, Slugging with Stephen O'Neill featuring Scumbag Yates was launched. I should know, it was on my website, the 23rd. So Slugging with Stephen O'Neill takes place every Tuesday at 6. So that's when you'll see the article come out, the interview come out. Steven's done well. I think he's had 6 so far. The 7th has been uploaded. I just got to go and tidy it up and set it for launch. But I'm enjoying this. Steven's still excited about it. He gave me a list of people who are involved with it. Absolutely stunned at some of the names. It's in holy crap. That's very, very cool, dude. And I'm looking forward to it. But like I said, this past Tuesday was Scumbag Yates. You can find that at cwnonline.ca. And then you can check out Steven's other articles, interviews as well. By going up to the top tab there and looking for exclusive, and then looking for Slugging with Stephen O'Neill to check out all the interviews there. But I'm loving it. Stephen, you're doing a good job. I'll tell you that there. CanadianIndependentWrestling.ca, like I had said, is the best way to get in touch with Canadian Independent Wrestling as far as anything that we're doing. And I will say this, guys, and I think I might actually, nope, hold on. No, I'm just messing everything up. Anyways, I got to bring something up because it's important to me, as well as I think it needs to be said in one manner or another. Some news broke with regards to this week, with regards to stuff going on here in Ontario Independent Wrestling. As a fan of Ontario Independent Wrestling, as a fan of Canadian Independent Wrestling, I go to the shows to support the promotions. I go to the shows to support the talent, whether or not they've been in the ring for, 15 to 20 years, whether or not they've been in the ring for 15 to 20 minutes, it doesn't matter. I'm still there to support, and I'm still there to support the show and support the workers. In saying that, some stuff broke down as far as the Ontario Independent Wrestling scene goes. And I just want to read this quote by somebody who my wife had brought up yesterday when I was talking to her about it. So the quote is, "My friends, love is better than anger. Hope is better than fear. Optimism is better than despair. So let us be loving, hopeful, and optimistic, and we'll change the world." And that was by the one and only Jack Layton. So in saying that, stuff gets said. As a wrestling fan, I don't necessarily need to know all the private stuff that takes place in a wrestler's lives or whatever the case may be. I haven't read with regards to exactly what happened. I know the details, surface details, so to speak, and that's all I want to know as a wrestling fan. So it's unfortunate it came out. The dust will settle, so to speak. But as a fan of Ontario Independent Wrestling, as a fan of Canadian Independent Wrestling, guys, just do yourself a favor and realize there's two sides to every story, and don't let it basically sabotage your viewpoint, so to speak, with regards to your views on a star here in Ontario or Canada, or a promotion here in Ontario or Canada, unless it's something major, like they broke the law, so to speak. But again, don't let it sabotage your viewpoint, and just tend to ignore it or mute it or whatever the case may be. It's out there. There's a lot of garbage out there, but I'll say this. I don't agree with the fact that it was put on social media, but it is what it is. And all I can say is support your local independent wrestling, no matter where you are. And I will continue to support the promotions I had prior to, COVID taking place, obviously. So I'll leave it at that. But like I said, CanadianIndependentWrestling.ca, the best way to be able to check out We Are CIW with the hashtag there in front of it. So from there, it is the final piece of Black History Month. It is the 27th. Black History Month officially ends tomorrow. Obviously, it's nothing that should be forgotten. It's not just a 1 month thing. So guys, keep that in mind and continue to understand what, they went through. So all you've seen me focus this month on, guys like, I want to say Sweet Daddy Siki because he is today, but obviously Lennox Lewis, as well as Rocky Johnson, as well as who am I forgetting? David the Crow Loiseau, which was last week. But this week for final focus on Black History Month is Sweet Daddy Siki. I had watched the documentary on CBC Gem, the recommendation of Greg Oliver at Slam Wrestling, and absolutely thoroughly loved it and enjoyed it. It was one of the best documentaries I think I've ever seen. You hear the name Sweet Daddy Siki. His name is just fun to say. and obviously his affiliations with Edge and Ron Hutchinson and Sully's Gym and everything else. But when it comes down to it, you don't realize the whole backstory to him and how much he had to endure and how much he changed the business for the better, so to speak. So a little bit about Sweet Daddy Siki. So Reginald Siki, born June 16th, 1940, is an American retired professional wrestler and singer, best known as Sweet Daddy Siki. Siki started wrestling in 1955 in Artesia, New Mexico. Did some training in Los Angeles with Sandor Sabo and Ray Ortega. He said he weighed about 180 pounds when he started, but within 3 years weighed at 230. He's also believed to be the first African-American to challenge for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. So born in Montgomery, Texas, like I said, June 16, 1940, but his residence is Toronto, Ontario, and he's been there for a while. Like I said, he debuted in 1955, and as far as his career goes, he moved to Toronto in 1961 because it was a central location from which to travel across North America. He still lives in Toronto today and uses it as a base for his country and western band, and his work as a karaoke DJ at the Duke on Queen Street East. Siki is well known throughout Canada. He was the top draw in the 60s and the 70s. He fought in Stampede Wrestling for years. Traveled with Bearman McKigney's circuit and was a mainstay of the Eastern scene. Siki is best known for his headbutt or cocoa butt and his neckbreaker maneuver. At his peak, Siki was the main card attraction at Maple Leaf Gardens and drew fans by the busloads. He had made his Maple Leaf Gardens debut in 1962 and wrestled there until 1980. And the article goes on here on Wikipedia. But he is one of those names you've always heard about. Canadian Wrestling Hall of Fame, not presented by CWN, but the actual real Canadian Wrestling Hall of Fame presented by Slam Wrestling, which I can't wait for them to get up again. Class of 2016, though, he was NWA Canadian Heavyweight Champion one time there in Stampede, and his list of accomplishments as well as championships is there on Wikipedia. Atlantic Grand Prix Wrestling North American Tag Team Champion one time with the Cuban Assassin. I love that. So guys, when you've heard me on the show here, I talk about Canadian Independent Wrestling, but I grew up on Stampede Wrestling. I also grew up on Atlantic Grand Prix Wrestling. 2 p.m. every Saturday, which maybe is why I went 2 p.m. today. It's to me, but it was ATV, so it was back there in St. John, New Brunswick, the Maritimes. But I loved Atlantic Grand Prix Wrestling, and to me, your Cuban Assassins and your Leo Burks was as big as Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant back in the day. But that is pretty cool. Sweet Daddy Siki was a tag team champion, with the original Cuban Assassin. That guy used to scare me as a kid. But that is a little bit more about Sweet Daddy Siki. But guys, you can check him out. Check out Sweet Daddy Siki, the documentary, right now for free on CBC Gem. And again, to give it the time, because it's an amazing story and you know all about what you've heard. But watching this, it was one of the coolest things, and I gave props to Greg Oliver on social media there, because I was like, you know what? And when I was watching the credits, he had actually written it. So I immediately reached out to Greg Oliver and said, hey, thank you very much. It was great. And it's pretty damn cool. So I'll say that. But Sweet Daddy Siki, you will see in the end graphic here coming up at the very end of the show, which is coming up. But from there, I'm going to switch into this here just temporarily here, just to bring back my notes. CWN Weekly. So our show here can be seen on social media, which includes Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. So you can check out the show itself separately. So lend the support just to the show. The website obviously has its own social media accounts as well, but there is a subsection on CWN Weekly on cwnonline.ca. And you can check out every episode that we've done, 28 in total as of today. I'll go through what's coming up for us before I get into the major news, which I touched base on last week. So CWN Weekly episode number 29, taking place March the 5th, 3 p.m. live on Facebook, Twitch, as well as YouTube. Yes, we're back to normal time. Reason for this week, I've been with my toddler all week, so I've been taking care of her all week. So I wasn't able, and my wife's a school teacher, so I wasn't able to do the show. I thought about doing it last night. I was like, you know what? No, I'll take a break. It was a little bit weird, because when I looked at the clock yesterday, it was 3:10. I was like, wow, I'm normally doing the show. But anyways, I was with my toddler all week. So this coming Friday, so next Friday, it's a PD day. So officially my wife will be available. So I'll be able to do the show live. So episode number 29, March 5th, 3 p.m. live on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. Next weekend as well, CWN predicts AEW Revolution 2021, March 7th, 3 p.m. live Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. If it's not live, it'll be a premiere premiere, but either way, it'll be March 7th at 3 p.m. Followed up by CWN Recap AEW 2021, March the 7th at 11:15 p.m. ish. If I go live, that'll be live on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. If not, you'll see the premiere happen on Facebook as well as YouTube. Probably the Monday, so March the 8th. So as always, check out the website, cwnonline.ca, and then feedback at cwnonline.ca as far as email goes. So in saying that, I'm going to eliminate this, and I'm going to attempt to screen share, which I haven't done in a while here, but I'm actually going to bring up the web. Oh, there it is. That's how much I've been to it lately, but I'm very excited about this. I'm very confident with this, and I am very excited about this. Excuse me if I haven't already said that. So I'm going to do this. StreamYard's changed things up a little bit. You can actually share a video file now, so that's on your computer, but I'm just going to share the screen. Audio is not needed, and I wish I could. Anybody familiar with StreamYard knows exactly what I'm doing, but I'm going to do this, and I'm going to take myself out of the picture here. There we go, guys. And I'm going to get rid of this top thing up top here. Guys, on audio, it's if you watch the video, you kind of understand what I'm doing, but there we go. Canadian Wrestling Network is live. I decided to launch it last Saturday. Officially, the website I had to do up, so it didn't launch officially until the 23rd. But the concept of the Canadian Wrestling Network launched officially last Saturday. Social media links and accounts were set up. Email address was set up. I started tidying up and doing the website as far as last Saturday goes. Like I said, February 23rd was the official launch of the website. So guys, when you heard me talking last week, you heard me talking with regards to network. I use that word network, and here we are. So this is the Canadian Wrestling Network. So one nation, one network, Canuck proud. Simple tabs up top, home, members, about, and contact. I'm going to go to about first, just to give you an idea of what it is. So there you can see the graphic, the logo there. Social media is on the right-hand side there. Canadian Wrestling Network is an online network dedicated to Canadian independent wrestling, pro wrestling, and mixed martial arts websites, podcasts, social media, and much more. Through one network, we strive to promote the latest content produced by every website, podcast, and social media channel involved with our network. If you're looking to be part of the network for free, email network@cwnonline.ca. And again, one nation, one network, Canuck proud. So when you go through here, contact is simply for the email. You can follow the network. There's all the social media channels have been set up. You've got, Facebook's still growing. You've got Twitter right here. Twitter's been doing well. Instagram's been doing well as far as getting follows and likes. And then you can see the Instagram posts down here. So that was the starting one. Then you go into anytime we add somebody new, you'll see it as far as their logo goes, as far as Twitter and Instagram and social media goes. When you go to members, this is the members section here. So guys, I just want to make sure it's still showing up on the screen here. So from there, the members right now, the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network, Backbreaker Media. When you're going through, you can see the media types. So podcast network, debut, founder, host, location, so Windsor, Ontario, Canada, for as far as Alliance goes, the email addresses, and then all their social media links down here as well. Backbreaker Media, Canadian Independent Wrestling, Canadian Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame presented by CWN. So as you can see, podcasts as well as networks, as well as websites. CWN, of course, is on there. CWN Weekly, of course, is on there. Knights of the Squared Circle's on there. Straight Talk Wrestling's on there. Slugging with Stephen O'Neill interview series. So if you're doing interviews, you can be part of it as well. And then Steven's Wrestling Journey, the one and only Steven Spice. 3 more are going to be added. Just waiting for confirmation details and logos and graphics and all that sort of jazz with regards to them. But you'll be seeing 3 more added within the next couple of days. Like I said, it is free. So you can sign up for free by getting in touch with me on social media, or you can, like I said, network at cwnonline.ca, and then let me know. On the main page here, you'll see basically the articles, anything that's being promoted by the members of the Canadian Wrestling Network. So this is 5 questions featuring Shane Taylor as part of Straight Talk Wrestling there. CWN Weekly episode number 28, which we're doing right now live. RCW Women's Title Elimination Match 2015 Anniversary Show by Backbreaker. John Moxley versus Kenta, who I touched base on, that is by the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network. Another one by Lewis Carlin there. Vidcast 40 featuring Just Incredible, the one and only George Mackay. More content, Paul Wight, aka Big Show, signs with AEW from Alliance. Steve's 3 with Devon. The Edible Chronicles with Wade Allen. That is a podcast. It's available on Spotify by the one and only Ryan Knight. So, guys, you can see the content of the network there. So I'm just going to stop sharing the screen here, bring myself back, and I'm just going to bring up the banners here. So Canadian Wrestling Network is the name. Website address, CanadianWrestlingNetwork.ca. Social media, you can check it out if you don't go to the website just by basically searching the term Canadian Wrestling Network. Email network@cwnonline.ca, and the hashtag officially right now is CW Network. And I'm very proud of it. It was a work in progress, so to speak. And when I say work in progress, this is something I've been debating on since 2017. So a while. And I tell you this. So when CWN first launched, it was CWN and then Canadian Wrestling Network. So that's what CWN stood for. But in saying that, I wanted to branch them out. I wanted CWN to look more like a news channel, to look more like a news source. So that's why it's just CWN, right? But I still kept Canadian Wrestling Network out there. So I still kept Canadian Wrestling Network.ca as an item. And then I thought about it one night. I was like, eventually, how do I want to filter this out? And I was like, why not create a wrestling network? Why not try something out where I can focus podcasters, or I can focus on websites, interview series, social media channels, all that sort of jazz. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's what I wanted to do. And the website that you see right now is a simple structure of the website. It will grow. It will get better. You will see changes to it. And I was telling my wife, and she actually liked the idea. But what I eventually want to do is have separate tabs. So in the tabs themselves, you'll have videos. So you have a video tab. You will have an audio tabs or a podcast tab. So say, for example, you're going for a drive. You're driving from London to Toronto, which is about 2 hours, and you want to listen to a podcast. All you got to do is go to CanadianWrestlingNetwork.ca, click on that podcast tab or click on that audio tab, and you've got all that option as far as what you can listen to on that drive to Toronto. You know what I mean? So you can download them all, put them on your USB key, your USB stick, so to speak. And then basically, listen away as you're driving to Toronto or wherever you're driving to. So that is something you will see in the future as well. The focus, Canadian Wrestling Network, obviously is Canada and Canadians, but it is an extended branch out there to any podcaster, any website or anybody out there in the entire world. If it's unique, send me an email, network@cwnonline.ca, and let me know. Obviously, the content of the focus is Canada, but the fact is I don't mind branching out. I was in touch yesterday with somebody from Australia, which I think would be kind of cool, but it's free, and all I'm going to do is promote, and create this kind of bubble, create this kind of hub of where you can go to get your content, and basically show people what Canada and the Canadian Wrestling Network is all about. So, guys, I'm very proud of it. I am very happy the fact that the website officially launched, and obviously the social media channels are getting hits, and I am excited. And you can probably tell by my voice I am excited. So we'll have to wait and see where it goes. But from there, it's all I want to do is see it grow, and it's one of my babies, so to speak. And CWN, as much as I love CWN, Canadian Wrestling Network, like I said, has been kind of on my mind since 2017. So, like I said, Canadian Wrestling Network.ca. Sign up for free. And send an email, network@cwnonline.ca. So I will leave it at that. So I guess that is it. So I will take off this. And as always, check me out at Chris Maloney, CWN. So that is Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, as well as Reddit. Follow me. Send me a message. Let me know what you loving about the show. Let me know what you want to see me talking about the show. Let me know what you're looking forward to as far as WrestleMania goes, New Japan goes, any of that jazz. So I know I say all that jazz, but it's I've been saying it for a while now. And one of my daughters says it as well, so it's kind of cool. But like I said, at Chris Maloney, CWN is the best way to get in touch with me there. But guys, that is it. It's been a long one, so it's I don't know. It's funny. Like I said, I didn't have any coffee today. But this has been a longer show than normal, but I was excited with the Canadian Wrestling Network. I wanted to touch base with regards to Sweet Daddy Siki and Black History Month. And, obviously it's been enjoyable, and it's only 3:20 in the afternoon. So go enjoy the rest of your day. If you've watched and listened live, thank you. If you're watching and listening post, thank you very much. Like, subscribe button, all that jazz. And I will see if I can come up with more terminology for next week. But guys, that is it. Until next Friday, we'll be back live at 3 p.m. on normal time slot there. But until then, take care. Enjoy your week. Enjoy the weather if you're here in London, Ontario, because it's supposed to be like 8-9 degrees sometime this week. So spring is coming. But I will leave it at that. And take care, everybody. And we'll talk again sometime soon.